Introducing the Couch Rider Raven Report. Let's go. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. Couch Rider. Ravens, Ravens, hey, Ravens. We gon' ride out. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. Couch Rider. We gon' ride out.
For some of you Twitter gangsters, this is just a hobby, original sports perspective. You can't stop me. Couch Rider Report, it's reflective. Please respect it. You will get checked, and your knowledge will be tested. I ain't the coldest Raven, but this is my show. Shout out to the Barry White of rap for the beat, though.
I've been going on for the last 2 minutes and 56 seconds. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for for doing that for me and letting me know that you could not hear me. So I'm gonna do one more sound check on a different mic to make sure that y'all can hear me. Okay, we got the Yeti mic going. Please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I usually do my same old intro, whatever, just saying, hey, appreciate y'all coming through. Thanks for rocking with your boy. Please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and smack that bell so you know when it's going down. So now that we got that out the way, I just wanted to say, Lisa, thanks for being strong and being you, because there's a lot of people who show a lot of strength, a lot of football players, a lot of athletes in the world who show a lot of strength, but to go through the things that you are going through right now, it takes that inner strength. It really takes that intestinal fortitude to be strong, to step forth and say, hey, I'm bold enough to go through it. I know a friend of mine, she's a 4-time cancer survivor. She is a fighter, and she's lost things along the way, but she is still in the gym, hitting the sets. She is on top of it. The military said, thank you for your service. And they're taking care of her now on the outside, but she's still finding a way. She wanted to fight to stay back in the military. She was that strong of a person. She still is. And so I'm hoping that you have that same strength. And, shout out to those people who are fighting those illnesses, those terminal illnesses. I encourage you to recognize that this life is temporary, but eternity lasts forever. And we're going to be renewed and restored to a version of ourselves that's greater than we can ever imagine. And just know that, you keep believing, you keep strong and keep the faith that you will be restored and be renewed and be out of that pain that you may be struggling and dealing with. I didn't want to get into a motivational moment today, but just know I believe those things to be true. And I hope you in your heart can believe that as well and keep strong. All right. So with that said, let's see how I can start some mess here with the today's controversy. today's moments of controversy. Of course, we're going to have plenty of that. We might as well go with the natural one. I could bring up a regular topic of controversy, like is the hot dog a sandwich, something like that. But let's just go with the basic one of today's, the talk of today and the talk of this weekend, which is John Harbaugh receiving a 3-year deal. Now, some people will hop on the show and they will be frustrated. They probably throwing furniture right now. They probably kicking and screaming and saying he's not our guy. We can do much better. But let's talk about the record, folks. Let's talk about the record. Now, back in the past, before Lamar Jackson, I could tell you, hey, I was frustrated because this man won 35, lost 35 since the Super Bowl, and we could blame some of that on Joe, but some of that's on Harbaugh. Let's just call it what it is, call a spade a spade. There was a lot of different issues with this team. Everything from the front office all the way down, there were issues with this team that led up to those 35 losses amongst those 35 wins. But since Lamar has jumped on board, we have been fantastic. And some people will say, oh, it was all Lamar. It was all Lamar. And then you'll have people that are kind of really pro Harbaugh. They're not as big of a crowd as they used to be. But they'll say, oh, it was all Harbaugh. And he helped turn this team around. I'm in the middle. I am dead smack in the middle. I believe that Lamar and Harbaugh helped save one another. I think that the Ravens took a chance on Lamar, and it has panned out big time. We see that. Should have been 3-time MVP, but you know how the league is. Dan Orlovsky and Emmanuel Ocho are to blame for the non-MVP3 situation. They had a vote. They voiced that they had an MVP vote, and they swayed the rest of the other voters, or at least a few of the other voters, in a direction that, I mean, they made a choice. But ultimately, I just thought if you have an MVP vote, I really feel like as a writer, you, or as having a voice out there in the audience, able to influence other writers, you shouldn't just come on the television show, hey, I have an MVP vote, and this is where I'm going with it. No, let it come out to be a surprise. That way we know in the end, like, okay, this is what happened, and you're not swaying an entire audience because you have that vote. Anyway, back to Harbaugh. What I'm getting at with Harbaugh, people like him, people hate him. And some people are pissed that the Ravens decided to stick with this coach, who is our longest tenured coach, who's our winningest coach in Ravens history, who's brought us a Super Bowl, who has taken Joe Flacco, a quarterback he did not even believe in, because you can go back and look at the tape. When Troy Smith was in this organization before he got that tonsillitis, he was going to be the starter of this team. And he said Joe Flacco is years away from starting on an NFL team. He didn't believe in Joe. Joe was not his guy. And yet he still took Joe in a top defense, of course. He took Joe with a top defense and Derek Mason and made something out of nothing. Got them to an AFC championship. And still rocks with the guy. And makes it work. Sure, that defense was phenomenal. And sure, Joe also had that great offseason, that great postseason of 11 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. But after that, we saw Joe fall off a cliff. And we saw Harbaugh's career start to plummet. But then that little shining light of Lamar Jackson comes through. And the reason I am with Harbaugh is because of the people that he put around Lamar Jackson to help him with his success. And sure, some of y'all will be like, well, where's the wide receiver? Well, where's the wide receivers that he should have had this entire time? He was building the brand of football that Harbaugh knows. And that's that ground and pound. And he was using the right offensive coordinators to do that. To go in and have Greg Roman use Lamar in a way that made him an MVP. And then to go and switch up and get Todd Monken to get Lamar an MVP. This is exceptional scouting department as far as pulling in coaches, being able to develop those relationships. Some of them I'm not a fan of because some of it is a lot of his homeboys, a lot of nepotism, but he's able to make it work. It gets frustrating. Yes, at the beginning of the season, I'm like, yo, fire Zach Orr. Why is Zach Orr here? And then after the bye, here we are having probably the top defense in the league because we're able to ball, because of the Harbaugh brand. It is not something that we like, but it works. It is not Mike Tomlin style, but it works. In this era of controversy over this man's job, let me put it to you this way. Harbaugh gets fired, right? Let's just say. He would have a job within 24 hours. I can guarantee it. He could turn any other team into a winner. You could look at teams, let's say AFC South. Do you want to be a coach of any? Do you want to have a coach of any team in the AFC South right now? Any team in the AFC South? No, because they're probably not going to be here in 3 years. They're going to be fired in 3 years. Guess who's still going to be here in 3 years? It's going to be John Harbaugh in 3 years because of the consistency. And he is able to build coaches that are able to move forward and into different organizations. Are they successful? It's about a 50-50. But I'm just saying that Harbaugh is able to build a brand of coaches here that want to be hired. We get pissed off every offseason or every postseason because coaches aren't being plucked from those other teams that even went ahead of us in the playoffs. They're being plucked from us because Harbaugh is building a brand, building a culture, and people are with it. So that is what I will say about our moment of controversy here when it comes to John Harbaugh. Stick with the guy. There's something to it. He's building this brand that's going to lead us to a Super Bowl. He almost had it this year if it wasn't for the drop by Andrews. He almost had it last year if it wasn't for Zay Flowers getting overheated and making a crucial mistake, first of all, with the fumble. The penalty that came before the fumble. The busting his hand up and making it bleed after the fumble. Those were 3 crucial mistakes that were made in that game that could have changed the outcome of that game. People want to talk about, we didn't run it, we didn't ground and pound enough. Y'all got to remember, we were very close. And not only the Bills game, we were close in the Chiefs game. Heck, even the game that Lamar got the concussion, there was still hope and it was still there. We were still able to be able to come back in that game. If it wasn't for Mekari, kind of glad he moved on to the Jaguars. Good luck to him. But Baltimore has a formula that gets us to the postseason. What we do when we get to the postseason, it matters. The game plan does matter. And you can't just say Lamar put it all on his back because Lamar made mistakes as well. It was a full bunch of team mistakes that were made for that game to have the outcome it did in the divisional loss last year. But Harbaugh is a team he's a guy who's going to build a brand that's going to get us there consistently, as long as he has a healthy Lamar. It's a team thing, folks. It is a team thing. Let's hear what you got to say about it. All right, Lisa says, I'm happy John is staying. Thank you. Thank you. I'm saying, would you want to have the coach of the Dallas Cowboys? Did we want Jason Garrett here? I know there was an opportunity to have us here before John Harbaugh. Did you want that because he would have been fired? The Clapper would have been fired and got out of here. Did you want McCarthy? Did you? Or is everybody wanting or looking across the way and seeing Mike Tomlin's brand of football? Sure, it's something it gets hits, it gets likes. People got impersonators on YouTube of Mike Tomlin, but not of John Harbaugh. But where's that getting them? Where's that getting them? Have they won a playoff game since 2016? Have they? Because I don't think, and they just got destroyed this last year. Is that the coach you want? The one that got destroyed by John Harbaugh? Because that could happen. He could end up going to the Cleveland Browns and building that brand over there. I don't think so. All right, Big Reg is here. He said, what's up, everybody? Rory says, John Harbaugh hired doesn't anyone as coach he doesn't know well as former player or coach. So you're saying he got to keep it with the homies, got to go with the guys that he knows. And sometimes nepotism can be a terrible thing. Nepotism can be a good thing. So I'm with you. Big Red says John Harbaugh has won AFC championship game since 2012. But, since 2011, he's got 2. He went right before that. So he went to the AFC championship the year before, and he came back over again. And so, we're looking at, 3 plus carry the 1, the Common Core math. Oh, I know he's been to 3 since 2011, man. So, because he's got the one that we just lost to the Chiefs. We had the one in 2012, and then we had the one we lost to Brady in 2011 because, once again, something that was out of his hands. The play was set up right. If the play had been caught, I don't want to bring up his name, and if that kick wouldn't have been missed, we would have been in the Super Bowl. The plays are there. It's just soon as we lose, y'all forget who helped get us there. I'm not saying he put the team on his back. I'm not saying that Lamar Jackson has more star power than John Harbaugh or vice versa. I'm saying it takes a team concept, and y'all forget about that. It took Harbaugh to believe in Lamar to give him that shot because 32 teams passed on him. 32, including the Ravens. And they came back in and got him. But that took an organization realizing that this guy could be great. And we have reaped of the benefits of that. Like I said, it's an organization. It's not just one person when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens. When they get a loss, we can't sit here and say, oh, it's on Harvs. Oh, it's on Lamar. Oh, it's on Mandrews. This is a team thing. When we get a win, you can't say Lamar did this, Lamar did that. You can say that, but you can't say Lamar was the entire win. All right. So I'm moving forward, man. I don't spend 16 minutes and 39 seconds on this dude. I'm happy. I know some of y'all might be frustrated, but just know we got a real one. We got a good coach. I know a lot of people are going to be frustrated because they're saying, oh, well, he didn't do this, he didn't that. But look at the things that he has accomplished. Look at the coaches that get stolen. They get stolen from us. All right, moving forward. So we are moving into. I know we talked about Die Hard being a Christmas movie. We're not talking about that today. We are going to talk about 3 guys for one position. Y'all be like, why did he only go into 3 guys when there were so many other players in so many other positions we could look at in the draft? I'm sorry, folks. I got excited when I started looking at a few of these guys. These aren't in any type of order, but just know that I'm excited about all 3 of these guys. And honestly, I hope we're able to take multiple swings at this position. When it comes to the middle linebacker position, we got Rowe and we got Simpson. It has been confirmed today by John Harbaugh that Trenton Simpson, will be starting alongside of Rowe. We have to think about what is going to happen with the depth on the depth chart. So I guess we'll start with the depth players that we can look at. And these guys, I mean, they're fast. They play fast. They are something else. When you see these names come across your screen, when you see these guys, just think fast football players who are ready to full on ball out and give their heart and soul to this game. They can cover sideline to sideline. These 2 out of the 3 are going to be some fast guys. You need to go look at some tape on because. All right, we'll start off with the first one. Hopefully his name is Can You Smell? I'm kidding. So I think it's Small Gordon Jr. out of Georgia. This guy is 6'2", 229 pounds. Do you see that running 40 time right there? 4.58. Where you see a guy that's running 4.58 that's 229 pounds. I think of course, there's a wide receiver out there. AJ Brown probably runs a little fast like that. But I mean, a linebacker doing this, being able to cover sideline to sideline, homeboy is reckless. I say reckless, but he got charged with reckless driving when he was in Florida. When he was in Georgia. That's the only real downside I had on this guy. Of course, looking at 229 and 6'2", you need to pile on just a little bit to be able to stop that run. Just a couple more pounds. So he eats with the defensive tackles. That's cool. But Smell, I'm telling you, this dude, he's a former 5-star recruit out of Georgia. Into Georgia. He's got great vision is one thing I saw. I was like, wow, he's able to fight through all of the trash and not necessarily get caught up in it. Multi-talented player, was like a running back, quarterback, you name it. I'll do it all in high school. Thought he was going to be a running back when he came to college, but he switched over to a linebacker and playing the wheel. I think he will fit very well next to Rowe or whoever succeeds Rowe in that position. Like I said, plays with reckless abandon, and he played all his freshman year except for like 2 games, which is a small injury that he had. But this is the guy that could possibly come on the radar in the 4th round. Reckless abandon. Good, like I said, really good vision when you see this guy here. Sideline to sideline player. I'm a big fan. I like players that kind of play similar to how, and y'all probably ain't gonna like when I say this, but how Pat Queen played when he got unlocked. Pat Queen was a very good player next to Roquan, and he really succeeded with us. And it was sad to see him and now Malik go over to Pittsburgh because these guys played so good for us. Now we got to play against them twice a year. But this is a guy who could fit well into that mold, and who doesn't love a Georgia player? Come on. All right. So that is the next, that is one player that I'm a big fan of. This dude is 6'2, 229 pounds. Like I said, runs a 4.58 40. This guy, as he plays with reckless abandon, and he just comes down with the fury. He loves a good middle blitz. Loves to come after QB. So as far as 2024, he had 55 tackles, he had 15 pressures, 4 sacks, and 1 pass breakup. So just look at this as a guy who's going to be all over the field. And he knows how to wrap up, but he's also a big hitter. All right, here we go. So his other stats: fast, good hips, can shoot the gap. He's fearless, has fearless physicality. He's a sure tackler. I said he could be stronger. And I'm sorry, I had to take back one comment. He does tend to get caught in the trash against the run. He has good vision. It's just trying to get off of those blocks at times. I want to see a little bit more of him getting off the blocks. But watching him in pass coverage wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. All right, so a sure tackler is what we say out of this guy here. Wouldn't mind seeing him next to Roquan in the future. Here we go. What are we talking about? Big Red says he likes him. He's actually pretty talented, but he's injury prone. Okay. I think he had an injury his freshman year, and I think one his sophomore year. And I think the reason he was sitting so far back on people's list is because I think he did have an injury that ended his season. I want to say, maybe that was it. Maybe that was one of the other guys. Yeah, I think it was like either an MCL or something. But basically, he's going to be a cheap pickup because of an injury. So look at one of those 6th-round picks, right? This guy just continues to slide down the board. We got a buttload of 6th-round picks. We could probably snowball those up and push them into a 5th or 4th rounder if we wanted to go and pick up a guy like this. All right, next. This next gentleman, let me pull him up. I didn't see any relation to the basketball player, but comes out of Ole Miss. We're talking 6'1", 222 pounds. He needs a sandwich or two. Make him meet with the defensive tackles for a bit. They can go to a buffet and have a ball. But Chris Paul Jr. out of Ole Miss. This is another guy who was 3rd team All-American honors, and I think he had 2nd team All-SEC in 2024. He started 12 or 13 games last season. He plays sideline to sideline. This guy recognizes the run pretty easy. He's a solid solid pursuit of the ball carrier. He has that. He plays through the whistle. That's what I saw. And then when I watched some of the tape on him, you can just see one thing. And that word was one word. And that word was intense. It was intense when you saw him on the field. Good. He got some good run recognition. And 2024, he had 85 tackles, 24 pressures, 6 sacks, 4 pass breakups, an interception, and a forced fumble. This is one of those guys who's like he's a hungry blitzer. He's a one of those guys who just cannot wait. He's jumpy when it comes to the blitz. I think he needs a little physicality, and like I said, he's another one of those guys. These are 2 guys that are light that can run the field. And when you think about it nowadays, we need somebody who's going to be able to run with a tight end. Let's just call it what it is. We need somebody who's going to be able to run with those faster tight ends that are out there. And I know that people normally don't have the Isaiah Likeleys, but they have decent tight ends out there who are going to make big time plays. And if these players can run with those tight ends and play that zone, play that coverage, we'll get a big guy who can make up the difference to replace Roquan when it's his time to go. And let's see. I think that was all the stats I had on that gentleman there. Let's hear your thoughts on Chris Paul Jr. So Barrett was undersized. I think he was sitting at about 6 feet. But don't let the size fool you. He was a very talented guy when I was looking at tape on him as well. Let's see. And then Chris Paul Jr., good fit for the Ravens. Like I said, it's possible. Anything's possible, Lisa. When it comes down to that back end of the draft, you're kind of like, have we gone through the character test? Some of these guys got some off the fields, or they have some injury issues. So it's kind of bargain shopping. Like, all right, what's the upside on this player? We know that there is some downside, but can we get the most out of this upside of this player? And this is one of those ones I'm hoping that's it has more upside than downside. So that's Chris Paul Jr. Next, this guy. Like I said, it's probably gonna be a short show tonight because there's no Cam Room. We put up those roadblocks. He managed to get through them. We sent the New Jersey police department after him. Just wasn't working. He's just a slick cat out there doing his thing. It's fine. It's cool. We'll catch him. Let us know. Just put that APV out for him again, and put those wanted signs and milk cartons out there. Maybe we'll get Cam Room to the show. It's okay. Teresa, what's good? Hey, do us a favor, Teresa. Hey, come to YouTube, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and smack that bell so you know when it's going down. We'd love to have you on the show commenting on YouTube with us. We definitely have a cool little family here that we just chatted up. We talk trash with one another. We have a good time. There's a few other people in here that have their own podcasts, Big Reg and Rivori. Make sure you go check those guys out. Subscribe to them. They talk. They have good points. Big Reg had a lot of great points this weekend on the opposite side of how I feel about John Harbaugh. And I thought it was he had some very intelligent points. And, he had a peer on the show with him to help back him up on those points, or just at least there listen to him and then just try to get the detail as to what was in his head when he was thinking about how he thought about Harbaugh. So it's good detailed analysis, and I'd say go check out his show. Let's see here. D says Jordan Clark, Ryan Clark's son, could be a spicy pickup on day 3. You already know when them former Steelers come on that board. The real Steelers is coming out there, and they want their kids to play ball for the Steelers, not for the Ravens. I know there could possibly be a house divided should that happen. We did want that to happen. I'll be honest with you. In the past, we did want that corner that came out for the Steelers, the one who told. We told OBJ to go home and be a good father. It's so disrespectful. Big Red says, appreciate you. All right. So, the final guy that I wanted to talk about, like I said, we're going to end this show a little early. That guy is Danny Stutzman out of Oklahoma, 6'3", 236 pounds. Let's go. This is the guy who doesn't need the sandwich. He's ate the sandwich. Matter of fact, he's just sitting here ready for more. It's a big bone crushing hitter. He finishes plays all around the ball like Roquan. In 2024, there's a controversy of 110 versus 108 tackles, but we're talking about 55 defensive stops, folks. 108, 110 tackles, 13 pressures, and a sack. Sure, he needs to work on his pass coverage skills, but like I said, we're talking about life after Roquan. Let's just call it what it is. Last year, we could see, and I'll be honest, I saw this during week 1. Roquan got kind of lost in the sauce. And as people were crossing him, it was just hard for him to keep up. Now, that may have been getting used to his new peer and Simpson on the side of him. And then, of course, Simpson, he got benched, and we had to go and deal with different substitutions. But Roquan ain't going to be around forever. We need to start looking at the future or even death behind him. And I think that starts with Danny Stutzman. Because this dude, like I said, 236, 6'3", he is prototypical all around the ball, got good ball skills. 3 picks in college. Not crazy. Need to see more pass coverage on him. But as soon as I put on a tape, all I saw was boom. I'm like, oh, okay, great vision. He wears that old school neck pad for a reason because he's about that business. He is about hitting people hard. He's got that. It's like a fullback neck pad. Seems like, and he is ready to just smash people. Great run stop. Like I said, here on it, I wrote on the notes, life after Roquan. Won't give up on a play. We saw on a couple of plays, like maybe he overshot the quarterback. You see him coming right back around and finishing these plays, taking guys, ushering them down to the ground with authority. It is full on just anger. I would not want to meet this guy in a bar and say something to offend him because it looked like it'd be a full-on back alley brawl beating out there. Yeah, I don't want to meet any of these guys. But I'm just saying, this is the one where you just don't want to mess up and say something wrong. He just puts his beer down and says, go ahead step outside, man. And it's a wrap. I would like to see more pass coverage snaps out this guy. I really would. But as far as him being able to stop the run, this is one of those guys, like I said, we talked about the other guys can't fight through the trash. The trash moves out the way for this guy. So that's my 3 right there. We're talking Shmuel or Small Gordon, Chris Paul Jr. out of Ole Miss. So Shmuel is out of Georgia, Chris Paul Jr. out of Ole Miss, and then you got Danny Stutzman out of Oklahoma. We have drafted players from Oklahoma before, definitely gone, to Georgia. But I think Oklahoma is one of those schools that maybe Eric DeCosta's got a thing for, just like Ozzie Newsome had a thing for Alabama players. I did not take a look at Alabama players, but I do feel like we're going to get an Alabama player out of this draft because Ozzie Newsome's probably going to be on the phone like, hey, it's time. Hey, it's time. We got 11 picks. Let me get one, please. Come on, man. I gave you your job. Oh, boy. Lisa says, shame on Marlon going to Pittsburgh. Marlon? Who went to Pittsburgh? Marlon ain't go to Pittsburgh. You talking about the other line? What's his name? Harrison. Yeah. So Ravens, Rivori says, does Trent Simpson start in 2025? According to John Harbaugh, he is the starter right now. This is a guy, Trent Simpson, a review on him, we saw the tape. He had the measurables that were faster and stronger than Patrick Queen. But sometimes faster and stronger is not always better if you're overshooting things and overthinking things and missing the assignments that you're supposed to have. I'm hoping that, year 2, we see a more mature player. People have written him off already, but I'm not saying it's time to write this guy off. I'm saying it's time to build depth behind him because we're expecting him to be that guy, but still needing those reserves in the back. Sure, I want to see an open competition. If one of these guys happen to show up a little bit better than Simpson, of course, doesn't get the job. But I think Simpson starts this year. I think they give him that shot, the true shot that he deserves because of that Pittsburgh game we saw 2 years ago. But I think he needs a deeper look and more coaching, and he'll get there. Malik Harrison, yes, you are correct. DeGrash says he seems a physical freak of nature around the line of scrimmage, but the problem I see is he played for and questionable pass coverage ability. I fully agree. The pass coverage, like I said, I wanted to see more pass coverage snaps, but most of his tape, he's playing definitely close and ready to smash somebody in the mouth for the run. I think that's where we get him for the benefit, and we use one of these other fast guys out there to stop the pass and hope that they don't really target his side on the pass. Yeah, Malik the Freak. Yes, Lisa, you're right. Okay, you came back with it. I was like, Marlon did leave us. All right, any final comments before we end this show? Because like I said, it's going to be a short one tonight, but I am appreciate each and every one of y'all coming through. Like I said, for those of you on the Facebook and on Twitter, shout out. Appreciate you coming through, even taking half a look for half a second. For those of you on Facebook and We Are the Ravens Flock, hey, just keep posting content and questions in there. Follow Brooke. She's going to say some things, probably going to get her banned for a couple of days, but she loves you anyway. Keep joining the page. We're going to have a lot of fun there. We're going to have a lot of fun here. I hope to see y'all next Monday, as long as there's nothing going on with the Air Force, because I'm active duty for a few more days, probably like 200 and let's see here. All right, y'all. 214 days left. Wait, hope y'all can see it. Okay, yeah, 214. That's the days left, folks. Cannot wait to hit that retirement button. Maybe I do a little bit more of this, or maybe I focus on a different job, but I am looking forward to calling it a day, hanging it up, probably growing my little freedom beard or something along those lines. But I appreciate y'all coming through to the home of original sports perspective, from our couch to yours. I'll read this last comment here, and we will call it. Trent Simpson isn't a natural will linebacker. He's an outside linebacker. He's great in coverage and rushing off the edge, but they chose to move him over. Check out Simpson in like his sophomore and junior year. However they decide to use this guy, I'm hoping to keep him on the field. He's an athletic freak. That's one thing we both can agree on, is this dude, he is an athlete, and they need to have him on the field somewhere. Yeah. All right, let's end that show with this here. I like this. Redemption is coming. Thy name are the Ravens. Thy team are the Ravens. Yes. Love to see it. All right. Excuse me. All right, it's that time, folks. Time to get up out of here. Time to go to bed. Hopefully wake up and be re-energized for the new day. But I hope to see y'all next week. We'll talk about maybe another 3 players. Or if y'all want to hit me up, I know that Delicious has always hit me up on Instagram with players that he thought we should talk about on the show. Y'all can do the same. You can either hit me up on Twitter with my handle. It should be, where Brooke's here. Hey, Brooke. All right. Yeah, she did show up a little late. So, Brooke, we were just about to end the show. You good. You good. At least you showed, right? You showed. Hey, you got to go back and watch the rest. But yes, you can hit me up on my Twitter handle. It's sitting right over there, down there, right there. Hit me up on my Twitter handle, or you can hit me up on We Are the Ravens Flock. I am one of the administrators there. Brooke runs the show, but I'm just one of the underlings. And then, or you can come over to, I think I got a Baltimore Ravens page. Yeah, don't worry about that one. I think it like died. Yeah, just hit me up on one of those 2 places. You got questions, you want to show me something. Hey, look at this player's tape. I'm all with it. I'm all for watching tape. I'm all for learning just like you. I ain't no insider. I just like talking football, hanging out with y'all here. This is like my favorite, almost my favorite day of the week. But appreciate y'all. It's time to ride. Thanks for tuning in to the home of original sports perspective. Like I said, I'm falling off the couch for y'all because it's just nothing but love here. Please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and smack that bell so you know when it's going down. Give me 2 claps. Fade black.
Introducing the Couch Rider Raven Report. Let's go. Ravens. Couch Rider. We gon' ride out. Couch Rider. We gon' ride out.
For some of you Twitter gangsters, this is just a hobby, original sports perspective. You can't stop me. Couch Rider Report, it's reflective. Please respect it. You will get checked, and your knowledge will be tested. I ain't the coldest Raven, but this is my show. Shout out to the Barry White rap for the beat, though.